Roger, give me that gun run. Right along that back, baby. Aim hot. Clear hot.
Ladies, gents, how's it going? Random Gary here, aka Gary Proud. For those of you that don't know, I spent 12 years in the British Army. I was a forward observer, so I called in the artillery strikes, the attack helicopters, the precision weapon systems. My team would be involved in calling in airstrikes. I was part of a tactical air control party at one point as well. And throughout my service, I actually received a Tier 2 British Gallantry Award, the second highest award for gallantry, one below the VC. I react to remarkable acts of gallantry, and I've been doing a couple of movie reactions which has had some quite good traction, so I'm back again with another movie reaction today. Before that, I've been really busy in the background, guys, so yeah, the videos haven't been coming out as much as quickly as I would like to. Bear with us, because it will be impacting the channel, my ability to get things out. We're working on lots of stuff in the background. Good stuff, very good stuff. Today, we're going to be checking out Tears of the Sun. This is classed as the final battle. Hopefully I won't have too much of a battle with copyright, but I'll be changing it enough. I'll be pausing, I'll be giving my opinions in some cases, and in other cases I'll be giving some of my subject matter expertise, where I've been in numerous firefights and had to call in dangerous close missions. So let's have a look. Let's see what the action looks like. These are the bad guys. We're not in their team.
Clear LT.
So, that shot. Wow. That's what a round sounds like as it actually clips and past you. For those of you who haven't been around firearms. That's fantastic. Sad that the guy got shot and all, but yeah, it's not real life. But you hear the snap of it, and then you hear the thump slightly afterwards. In real life, that would be a really long shot. That's coming from quite a long distance. The time for the B of the bang to get to you. Very good.
Sniper, 11 o'clock. Sniper, 11 o'clock.
Go.
That's a shame. That's not what it's like in real life. I think what they're trying to do here is Paris fire maneuver, but for Hollywood. They're in their fire teams currently. We would run this with a section, and we would have Charlie and Delta fire team, and you start off and you work in your fire teams to advance. So what you have is you've always got one footprint on the ground that's providing cover and fire while the rest of the troops move forward. Now we would do it differently. It's the troops who are static. They're the ones who provide the cover and fire. It looks like these guys are advancing forward, firing themselves. We don't try to do that. We try to move. We try to sip and sag, and we have a saying which is, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. So if you say that, you get up, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, and you get down again, that's a good enough time for them not to be able to get a beat on you and to be able to shoot you. So we're talking about very, very short bounds. You're only going 10, maybe 15 meters forward, you get down, and then you start to provide cover and fire for your buddies as they get up and move. Now, cover and fire, it's not just about sitting down low and just engaging constantly. What you have to be doing is putting 3 to 5 round bursts into likely firing positions. In this kind of instance, you're engaging into really dense foliage. You're engaging likely firing positions. You're probably not going to be able to see the enemy. But what is important is after those 3 to 5 rounds, you then need to move your position. Because if anybody sees your muzzle flash, their attention's drawn to it, they will lay the bead on you, and the second that they see that muzzle flash again, they will start putting rounds into it, and your titty bread, that is you are gone. So yeah, a little bit interesting that they're firing on the move. We do this in urban areas, in up close areas, if we need to advance and we don't have the baseline, as we would say. If we don't have the baseline established, we would move and fire, but it's very methodical. We take a step, it's a slow step, we're square on to the target to present our body armor, and in between our feet actually hitting the ground, where the foot is at its highest point, that's where we tend to squeeze the trigger, because that is where you are at your most stable as you advance forward. So, a little bit different. It's you can tell movies where they've kind of just been shown by somebody who has a bit of an idea, but they didn't really invest time into how to do it. And this is one of those cases where I don't really think they invested time into doing it. Keanu Reeves, you watch him, he's invested loads of time. You watch some of the skills and drills in other movies, especially like Heat, they invest time. These guys, it looks like they've got somebody in who knows what they're doing, but they've not give that person time with these actors. We shout grenade whenever a grenade comes towards us. If we're sending one out, we shout frag out. So everybody knows then if it's frag out, it's a friendly. If they hear grenade, they know to dive for cover. Everybody down. Did you see the shitstorm that's going on there? There's mortars, there's RPGs, there's a sniper, there's automatic fire. Thanks, Bruce, mate. Seeing that you've said it, I'll now get my head down. That's a really good idea. That's where training comes into it. Cheers, man. Two types of cover. Cover from sight, cover from fire. Bruce's cover there is probably better than grass, but that's going to get penetrated. And this is the thing. This is where people always ask me, does paintball and does airsoft, does it transfer into the real military? To some degree, yes. But I'd rather have the real life skills and go to airsoft than have airsoft skills and go to real life. Because airsoft doesn't teach you about cover from fire. This will get shredded. If there's an automatic machine gun on this here, this is not cover. It will get torn up. And yeah, that's what I think. I think the tactics align to some degree, but real life tactics work in airsoft. Airsoft tactics don't work in real life. Hope that makes sense. And it's not me being offensive, it's just truth. Hope my truth doesn't offend your feelings. What was that for? Good firing position there. A machine gunner's actually got it nailed alright. Whenever you get those little light anti-tank weapons firing, they go off with such a thump. It feels like you've been kicked in the nuts at times. If you're close enough to them, just the concussion of that blast, it feels like somebody's walked up and hit you a swift boot up the backside. Everything just, you end up with snot down your nose if you've got too much in everything. They go off with quite a thump, to the point where I used to avoid people who had them whenever we were out on tour. We used to use the LASM, that light. Anti-material and structure, light anti-structure and material, I think it stands for LASM. It's an American weapon system, and anytime I seen somebody with it, I always used to make a note and be like, don't be near them when it goes noisy. There's more. So in reality, what does a fighting withdrawal look like? And I say a fighting withdrawal because the British Army does not retreat. A fighting withdrawal is just the reverse of that pairs fire maneuver, that fire maneuver that we seen earlier run. They would go fire team at a time. One would establish a baseline, the second ones would get up and move. In this instance, where you're working with multiple civilians in the background, you would potentially have your command element potentially taking them along. So maybe like your section commander, your platoon commander, if they were on this patrol. It's a weird makeup. It's not how we would have worked, but you would maybe get that command element to usher and to get these guys back and leave the fighting troops, the sections, to be able to kind of do their job. So yeah, that is how you would do it. This thing about walking backwards and shooting slow, it's ineffective, and before you know it, against an enemy of this size, you'll be out of ammo. Hey! 18's off the deck. When you change a mag in a firefight, you do not do it in a firing position. You do not do it from a kneeling position. You get as low and as into much cover as you can. You change that mag. You ensure the working parts are fully forward and the weapon is functional. And then you expose yourself in order to engage the enemy. You don't sit out in the open changing. No. Good peel. Shame about the spacings. But for me, again, casualty extraction, I wasn't a big guy, so over the shoulder wasn't always an option for me, and I think it limits your awareness of what's going on and what you can do about it. I always like the drag. Doesn't sound nice, but it's the most effective in my opinion. And just to get them into a place where they can either start to get treated or you can buddy up with someone in order to get them moved even quicker. Single person casualty extractions they're tough. They are ridiculous. What do you Yanks roll in jungle? UK forces, we tend to go with iron sights, so no optics, and there's instances. I'll say, in fact, I know you guys done it. You used to cut down barrels off your support, your general purpose machine guns, and put on a forward grip. I can remember seeing the SEALs doing that and doing lots of kind of hip work with automatic weapons. I always used to be aware of it, patrolling point man automatic bursts. We done this in Afghanistan actually, where you were patrolling through cornfields, and the contact, the initiation of the engagement would be maybe 2 to 3 meters. You would patrol through. You would be looking over the top of the weapon system with the weapon on automatic. And as soon as it went noisy, as soon as they started shooting at you, you just do a mag dump straight into that location. And yeah, I'm just seeing like I think it's the M14 here with a big optic on it, and I'm as much as I love the weapon, I'm not sure how effective it would be in this real dense kind of jungle environment. Oh no, that is a shit show, isn't it? You're not getting anywhere. Very nice of the enemy to lay themselves in a nice line like that, isn't it? You know, no flanking troops, no troops going around as a cutoff. Really nice of them. I think they're setting something up for the pilots here. It's been so long since I've seen this movie, I can't remember, but I imagine it's going to be an oblique hit from the 18s. On my day where I got my award, I blew the barrel out of my rifle, and I can remember at one point I was pretty much down to my pistol. Now, thankfully, I didn't have to use the pistol in anger. I actually managed to get a hold of a light machine gun and use it a bit rather than use the pistol. But I can remember thinking to myself, I don't fancy my chances. Pistol against an AK. There's only going to be one winner there. And yeah. Thankfully, it didn't come to that.
Hang on, we're here! Coming in! Now, check him out!
That's an interesting loadout. I am by no means like I wasn't a forward air controller, but aren't these air-to-air? These are like I play a video game, so I have a little bit of an idea. But aren't these air-to-air? These are like AMRAAMs or something, aren't they? I think so. They're too big to be AIM-9s. Get you aviation geeks on here. What are these? This looks like an air-to-air loadout, and that isn't actually a bomb. That will be a fuel tank. What is this? What is this 18 carrying? What's he rolling in on?
What do you got down there, LT?
LT knows his rank.
I got white smoke, LT. Roger that. Coming in hot.
It's a movie. That's all we need to say, I suppose. But again, they've used people the language, the terminology, whilst they've not used the 9-line process and everything like that. They're saying enough to let you know that they actually have a bit of an idea. Coming in hot. Okay. I don't think we ever used rockets off an 18. Do they have that capability? I don't think so. However, even if we did, they wouldn't look like that. If anything, they look like white phosphorus. The way these pop and smoke, and the bright light coming off them, I imagine it's just the special effects using lots of like magnesium or something in the effects. But this looks like mortar white phosphorus going off more than it looks like an impact of a round. With a rocket coming in, there's a ton of kinetic energy. So instead of getting these up blasts, you get like a sideways mushroom cloud that will slowly lift up, and you can see the angle of what they're coming in at. And of course, you can see a bit of the what we would call the bug splat, so where the round hits and spreads out, rather than that white phos. It's pretty, isn't it? Lady gents, hope you enjoyed that. It's a cracking movie, isn't it? I think sometimes we just have to remember that these things are for fun, and it is a fun movie. I'm sure they all lived happily ever after, and there was no more atrocities in that part of the world. Ladies, gents, thanks for checking in. I hope to see you again very soon. Get your comments in the comments section. I've got a few free nights, so I will be replying to these ones. Tell me about your week. How's your week going? What's new with you? I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.